Hello, everybody. Good evening. Unexpected live video for you guys, late night Tuesday. I'm gonna wait a minute till you get notifications and get in the room. Just a minute or two. I want to share a few things. First of all, I want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel and commenting and for your trust. When you subscribe to my channel, that's just an honor for me because I do realize that at this very time you can watch somebody else. There are literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of channels and so on and so forth. So I definitely appreciate the support and that you value my insights. Once again, I do not make my videos to be right. I make my videos to share some experiences, to shed some light on things you might not know from relationship perspective with Slavic women. And I'm actually considering to diversify a little bit and add some more universal things. Today we have a very weird topic, and if you see the title of the video, it says, "Can you purchase a wife in Ukraine?" And this is the video I promised last time I made a live. This is the video I promised to talk about from my recent experience dealing with some very ignorant people. And I thought the power of sharing that with you would not be so much the actual insult that I felt when I heard that statement, but something for you to prepare. Because if you are going to be in a relationship with a foreign lady, likely you're gonna get envious comments, likely sorry guys, likely you're gonna get inadequate ignorant people. So maybe I can prepare you a little bit what to expect from people who are absolutely clueless and jealous and simply arrogant and ignorant. So this is another inspiration. I try to get over fast the negative stuff, but in this case, I think it would be a great insight for you. So the topic, once again, for those who just joined, now we have full room of people. So for those who just joined, we're talking today about perspective of some people, that those of you who are interested in relationship internationally, that you are going to purchase Ukrainian wife. Purchase, quote unquote. So I've heard this phrase on the event I was from the person that is actually a matchmaker. And the discussion was actually very positive. Everybody was discussing how could we bring more life to dating, how could we do more fun things in dating, how people can get out from their couches and be more engaged in their own life. And then the lady, one of the matchmakers had said that, well, we should do something so American men won't go to Ukraine to purchase a wife. And, you know, so that was quite an experience. And it was really, it just showed the real face of the person and how ignorant they truly are. And she turned around to me, and I just kind of let her know that it's not okay, to say such a thing. I couldn't even explain the way I felt, but I understood after why I felt I could not believe what I heard. And the reason is, if that would come from a regular person that never done matchmaking, never paid for the service, always meet everybody organically, you can kind of understand that kind of ignorance. You know, there are people that just don't use online dating, don't use matchmakers or anything like that. But that came from the person that provides that service. So, what is the difference between investing money in matchmaker in US and date locally, or invest 1/3 of that? Just so you know, guys, for your knowledge, matchmaking in US very often varies between $15,000 and $25,000. So going to Ukraine, as you know, it's a fraction of that, even if you hire the high level matchmaker. So I realized how hypocritical that was, coming from a service provider that, helping people to purchase, wife in US. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what's behind that ignorance, what's behind that anger, what's behind that arrogance, and just all of this wonderful bouquet, if I can say. Meanwhile, I'm gonna have a cup of tea and say hi to everybody. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the kind words. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Aaron, thank you. I appreciate your kind words as well. Oh, Casey, thank you. Hey, John. Yeah. Lawrence, how are you? Brian, thank you. I am an angel under certain circumstance, but that can quickly change. Thank you so much, guys. So, where do I start? First of all, I want to prepare you that a lot of your friends and family might be supportive of you, and your idea of being happy. They do not care who you marry, what nationality, what race, what country. They just want you to be happy. Those people are your actual real friends. And then you're gonna see people who are going to be mean and going to judge you and try to tell you that you are a loser because you want to have somebody different. They're gonna try to say, oh, so you can't meet anybody here. And the truth is, there are a lot of very successful people that are doing very well and have no problem dating in US, but they just want somebody better. That's the truth. They want somebody better in terms of they're looking for more feminine women, and that is just reality. I'm not saying that there are none of that in US. There are obviously beautiful women here as well, but it's just harder to find them. And a lot of times they are taken and married because they are a rare gem. So once again, a lot of times people who are looking to date abroad, they want somebody who will complement their masculinity. They want somebody who will be a team and who will not be shy of and proud of their role in a relationship. I was watching an amazing talk by one of the wives of one of the most powerful people in business. I'm going to make a separate video about it, so I'm just going to mention briefly. And she was saying how their success really started when she realized her role and things that she is the best at. and basically it went down to the classic roles where she was also taking part in business, but she was doing something that she was great at, and she let her husband be the beast, and she had his back. She didn't call him, oh, you are late, you're working too late, here are the kids. And she's a gorgeous, stunning woman. And once again, her husband had created an empire, and the only fights they had was when she couldn't figure out her role. She lived in California, and I know I have some listeners from California. I have nothing against it except for extreme liberal beliefs, when women just going out of their mind and think that it's embarrassing and insulting to be of service, to be supportive, and be in a team instead of competing with a man, be in a team. So anyways, that was a powerful speech, and it just once again reassured me that women who wants to be women are not crazy. Women who do not want to compete with men are not crazy. Women who want to take pride in their femininity and in their true gifts are not crazy, that they are powerful, and it inspires men to win in life. So a lot of men who look in abroad, it's not because there is something wrong with them. There is a big part of people that just want something better, and they just don't want to settle. So you have to remember that when people are going to attack you and make fun of you because you want something better. Now, there is obviously a part of people that do have troubles and have issues. But once again, everybody deserves a chance. You have a chance to work on you. You have a chance to find maybe a better environment and give yourself another chance. Until your heart is beating, you have a chance to make things better. What my point was to say that there are some extremely highly successful people that dream about having a real woman that is not confused, because the problem with a lot of very westernized and very masculine women, that they're confused. They're fighting for the rights. They're trying to insult men, but then they are miserable when they come home because they have nothing and nobody, and having career is not as fulfilling as they were lied to is going to be. I have nothing against career. I have nothing against, being happy and fulfilled with what you do. But when you replace your heart desires with only work, and that's the only thing you are doing, for the most women, I would say 80 to 90%, that's a disaster. And another problem with masculine women is that they create weak men. They contribute to men being, they always show and compete. And eventually, men do not offer the seat for you. Eventually, they do not open the door for you. Eventually, they do not bring flowers for you. Eventually, they, give you a chance to take decisions because they don't want you to be mad at them. But that creates a bunch of men who are becoming unneeded, and they're losing their purpose. And then women getting mad because they are surrounded by a bunch of weak men that not helping. So they are frustrated. These women are frustrated that the man is not leading, is not providing, is not taking care of things. But they created that. They helped that to happen. Sometimes I observe this kind of situation even in the families, and sometimes it could be even, between mothers and sons, when mothers are overpowering their children, when they do not let them decide. I'm talking about moms and boys, when they put them down and making fun of their desires to be important, and then when they grow up, they don't let them to take any responsibilities, and then they wonder why their sons asking them for money when they're in their 40s and 50s, why they cannot build anything, why they call their moms for advice, when they are grown men. So a lot of times, these feminist women, they truly contribute to this mess by encouraging that, trying to solve things for men, but then they're the ones that are going to suffer, because in a difficult moment, especially these young men are going to be trained to be helpless. And that's, another thing, that it creates is depression for men, because when you don't have a place, that's the worst thing that can happen to a man especially. So this is just a little insight into this situation, how ignorant and useless, and what is the real problem, why Western men, not just in America but all over the world, looking toward Eastern European countries. That's one of the reasons they do not want to be this little boy. A lot of times women treat men here as they are absolutely clueless little boys, and it is really sad. There is a big difference between loving your sons and taking and teaching them to be helpless. There is a huge difference. That could be another video, but I just would like you guys to prepare you what can happen, and that you're gonna get some statements. People gonna criticize your wife appearance, um, if she is good looking, if she has some makeup on, she has her hair nice, she's, well dressed, things like that, you're gonna get critics. And for me, I would just say hold your head high and know why you did that, and be ready to answer. The person that told me that BS about purchasing a Ukrainian wife, she did kind of apologize in the end, but really that apology meant nothing to me, because she wasn't sincere. She just realized that she looked as a nasty person to everybody, and that's why she apologized. To me, I didn't want to get on fire, because even though some of you guys calling me an angel, but I want to reassure you that if you step on my nerves, um, the thunderstorm happens. And if you get that, I'm trying to stay away from conflicts, because just as everybody else, I have my, spots of fire when I can get fired up. And if I would go to that point, I would take you apart right there, right then. So I try to avoid the, being to explode, because that explosion is burns everything. And it didn't worth it. I just sometimes like to observe people and their stupidity, to be very honest. Sometimes it's the wisest thing to do, because when you argue with an idiot, you get on their level. That's the truth. So back to the topic. Back to the topic, guys. Um, it is impossible to purchase anybody in any country. We're not living in times of slavery. We are not living in the times when people are pushed to be part of any establishment. Everybody has a choice. Absolutely every person has a choice. And even in those religions that are that are very strong, people still have a choice, even for those people who, maybe not as free as we are here in the West or in Ukraine. So I hope that this message resonates with you, and you understand why, what's behind try to insult you. One of the reasons is they are extremely jealous. If this is your lady friends, a lot of times these are basically the friends that want to see you just as miserable as they are. They want you to have a very dull life. They want you to marry a woman that has my camera almost fell. That has very little feminine qualities. They want them. Some of your female friends here want you to marry a woman like them. The women that just completely give up, and their family and friends are boosting their self-esteem, but they don't do anything to feel better about themselves. They don't take pride in being a woman. So it's more comfortable, to see you. It's a lot more comfortable to see you marrying a Jane next door, rather than you going for a dream. You going for a dream, and you doing what other people don't have guts to do. That's the one of the reason for the women, your female co-workers or friends, to insult you, just because they're simply jealous, and they're unhappy in their life, and whatever. And there is no differences. Once you use the services, either it's matchmaker, it's a dating site, most people right now, so you can say that everybody is purchasing a relationship, because majority of single people, regardless of their age, are on some kind of dating site or using some kind of matchmaker. The majority of people that actually busy with work, they're doing their thing, they are on some kind of dating thing, right? Or they are on social media. I mean, we are all doing something, and especially if somebody is intentional. So then everybody's buying a relationship. If you're on dating app, if you are on a dating app, if you are on Match.com, if you are on any other website, you are buying a relationship. So that's just an ignorant statement that made no sense. And my thought that I really, I was 1 second away of saying that. My thought was to say that woman that you are the very reason why men are ready to fly over the ocean to find a loyal, beautiful, generous, feminine wife. You are exactly the reason why men are turning away and going in the other direction and crossing the ocean to fulfill their life. And you are also the reason why some men just completely disappointed in everything and they go their own way. MGTOW or MGTOW. This is exactly why. But sometimes it's more powerful to stay in silence and actually, observe the stupidity and just, stay cool and stay real, understanding that ignorance is a weakness. People who are ignorant have very little knowledge. You might not be supporting somebody, you might not see some things for yourself, but when you're ignorant, it just tells how what a low level of education you have, and it's really, it just shows the real level of the person you're talking to, because once again, it's not about agreeing or supporting somebody, but making statements like that, it just tells that this person just is extremely low class. So yes, guys, here comes my speech and my comeback. And if you just joined, we are talking today about statements that some people tell you when they realize you are about to go abroad to meet somebody, because they even don't have a passport, they even never been outside, and they are freaking out because you're doing something they wish they could do, but they don't have the guts to do. And that's just the reality of that. It's very easy to criticize somebody and put these opinions and have no facts for them. So, all right, so now guys, I'm gonna try to see if I can get to the, okay, all right, let's see if I can get to the chat. Thank you so much for the support. I'm trying to not look at the comments as I'm talking, so staying on point, and then I'm gonna read. I really appreciate the engagement. And once again, guys, thank you for subscribing and supporting. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna read all the good comments. Oh wow, guys, you can be second Leon Tolstoy. Lots of writing here. But I appreciate that. Well, you guys are very welcome. And thank you for the compliments. Actually, this is not iced tea. We don't drink iced tea, especially in winter. So it's real hot. It's now cold, but it's okay. All right. I'm gonna read the comments that actually connecting with the topic, if you don't mind. Right. It's pretty ignorant to think that you can buy somebody in 2019. Hello, Veronica. I would like to know what you think about doing connections with Mark and his mate mentioned services in US. Gregory, if you want, if you have some particular questions, you can reach out to me on my email, consultveronica@gmail.com. I also have an email on my website, but this is better if you just put it on Gmail. Sometimes the free works best. The other email I access on not that often, so if you want to discuss what's work for you, because I cannot answer the question, Gregory, because it depends on your situation, where you are at and what you're doing. I'm going to have some videos about matchmaking versus romance tours. It's really a choice, and it really depends where you are at, whether you can benefit from that or not. So somebody write my email so those who want to reach out to me can use it. Because often people misspell my name and then I don't get the email. Brian, thank you so much. Brian is saying, I have traveled the world. The Ukrainian beauty and spirit is beyond all others. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you feel this way. Thank you, guys. The Ukraine has suffered turmoil for centuries. The strong men fought and died. the women survived and took care of family. Veronica's genes have been refined and vetted. That is true, though. Thank you. You made your research. George is saying, I agree. My friends think I'm so stupid for going abroad looking for my soulmate. Well, we have to remind people to take care of their own business. If somebody is your friend, they are happy for what makes you happy. They are not trying to make you happy the way they see that, right? Brian is saying if a man is fortunate enough to win the trust and heart of Ukrainian women, he won the prize. If others criticize a man for that, they are ignorant fools. I'm glad you're appreciating this topic and you can resonate with that. Yes, I agree, Kizzy. People create their own traps and then trying to make it everybody else's problem. Renee is saying that his ex-wife was competing with him all the time. This is one thing you don't have to worry with Ukrainian women. Ukrainian women will give you all the power. You can be the king, the whoever you want, as long as you provide and take care of the family and you are a strong leader. She is happy to not be a strong leader. She's happy to rule where is her place of power, you know? Because smart people divide their influence and power. Yeah, oh, thank you, Kizzy. That's correct. So my best email to reach me is consultveronica@gmail.com. It's right here in the chat. Yeah, another thing is true. The best thing to do about this is to ignore these people. That's why, I realized that person, it didn't worth it for me to get in a conflict with her, with all these people, and it just wasn't a good idea. But I was happy that I could see through her BS. It was easy, actually. TA is saying, I've met a few Eastern European women and they like men to be a man, yes. Well, you know what? Why would we be attracted to a man who wants to be a woman if we are not gay? Just saying. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate your support. I'm glad you can resonate to this, and I just want to prepare you. It's going to happen, but it's just part of life. One thing I always remember when I get critics and angry people, one thing I always remember is that people that are better than me in some way, they get no time for me. People who are better than you got no time to get on your tail, to criticize your hair, I don't know, your salary, where you live, because they are busy with their own thing. They are either happy or they are working on a project, they are focusing, they are making money, they are building the families. They got no time to give you. They have no time to give you and worry about you. So who else left? People that are behind you, people that wish that they would have courage that you do to do what you do, and they always amplify your imperfections, make them super big, trying to make fun of you because they're just wasting their time. Like, I don't watch channels of people I don't like. I don't watch TV at all, but when I watch it, I don't watch what I don't like. Sometimes I watch it for education, but I already know I don't like it, so I don't comment because I just understand. what this all is about. I don't spend time to, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine sitting on the internet and write hatred comments instead of working on your own life? And this is what happens, and women who criticize other women, for their looks, for how they dressed, and they are losing their time to go and, take care of themselves. I was really challenged. I told you guys that I came to US in 2009 and I was not prepared. So one time we went to see some friends and they were kind of like female friends, but 10 years ago I never seen anything like that. And those actually were women, but they looked like men, they act like men, and they were very strange. And I didn't know what's wrong with them. And then I understand that they are basically half gay, so they're kind of weird. I don't know if they have sexual relationships in between them or not, but they are definitely having the man appearance and the man masculine vibe. So why the masculine man would be attracted to that? Yeah, they actually were sort of like friends of our friends, and I was unprepared. Nobody prepared me, nobody told me what's going to happen. And so that was just totally weird. And I didn't know what to make of it because um, I really wasn't prepared. I don't even know what scared me more, their behavior and total absence of femininity, or the way they looked. I'm telling you, Ukrainian women will only look like a mess if, I don't know, she has pneumonia, she has high fever, she's coughing, her house is on fire, and all hell break loose. Yeah, then you might have to deal with the mess for a day or two. But unless she's like hospitalized with some weird disease, she will always look good. That's the difference. And it does take effort. It's a lot easier to just roll out of the bed and be mean and think that the world owes you something when you don't put effort in your own self. But this is just not how things work. And so, coming back to that experience, I really didn't know what to make of it. I now understand that kind of women, and that's why I have very few female friends that are. I mean, I just can't. I just don't know what to talk about with these women. And also, when we were there with a company, it was funny because they were the ugly looking ones, just real. But they were making fun of the guys. I'm glad you find it funny, Brian. So what was funny is that once again, so we were in a company, with men and so-called women, and they would consistently make fun of the guys. And guys actually were decent looking. And I just could not believe it. They were getting joy from just putting everybody down. So it was a shocker for me once again. But then, yeah, you would laugh, guys. You would pay to see the picture of a woman that never seen anything like that. And what was even scarier, I thought they were like my mom's age, but then it turned out that they were only like 5, 10 years older than I am. So they were the same age I'm now as when I came. So I was like, wow, I thought they were like. Anyways, this is what happens when you give up on yourself. You know, women do not have to lose their shine and beauty with age. True women that have the femininity inside of them can always access that power inside, that shine in their eyes, that sort of very alluring feeling, and they can always access state of beauty. Beauty is only partially is what you see, but when you are with the right woman, she can always access that state of beauty, and it's kind of like a virus. The real beautiful person is the person with who you feel wonderful, with who you feel handsome, beautiful, powerful. That is a true thing, and it doesn't go away with time. That's why I'm telling you guys, I understand your fascination, with um, appearances, but appearance is only part of it, because true Ukrainian women know magic, and they know how to connect with a state of that abundant, beautiful, inspiring feeling. When you wake up in the morning and you are, as a man, you're ready to go and kill and, bring home what you had killed. You're ready to go to a fight. You're ready to win. And that's going to be one of my next videos. I'm going to talk about that incredible power couple, and the insights that I've heard were just spot on. It was so reassuring. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing the connections. Thank you for laughing. I'm glad I make you laugh. We're gonna get some abs tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. God, oh my gosh, so many comments. Yeah. King Neri is saying anyone bringing a wife to the West better have a support system set up ahead of time. Well, it definitely helps that she will be able to relate to somebody, because sometimes you do feel a little bit isolated because you can't relate to people. And we are social creatures. We want to have somebody to relate to. Yeah, Brian is saying Brian, thank you for the kind words again. You're really kind, and everybody else. You guys have a good taste. That's all I can. Good taste in women. That's all I can say. Brian is saying Western women don't understand men, don't understand the dynamic. As they say in Ukraine, the men are the head and the woman is the neck. That's very true. It's interesting. I've always appreciated women who are beautiful women that are beautiful inside out. They are always source for the inspiration, and not only for men but for everybody. They're a source of inspiration for other women, for children, for men, for everybody. That's why women should keep bringing beauty to this world. That's true. Somebody saying, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read your profile name, but Western women don't even understand themselves. Yes, very often you set your own trap. And once again, I'm not telling it's everybody. Some of you had amazing mothers. Some of you have loving sisters. Some of you have very inspiring female examples, but I'm just talking about certain category, you know You know exactly the category I mean, right? Yes. That's great. I'm really glad that you guys have your own experiences and this is how you judge. I absolutely do not see that, people try. You don't have to say nice things to me. I can always feel when it's real. And I know a lot of you speak from experiences because once you tried to be, or you met somebody feminine and um, somebody who embracing that, you can't go back. That's just the reality. Once you try something good, you can't go back. That's just how it is, right? Hmm. Well, I hadn't been to Argentina yet, but I would love to. So once I made it to Argentina, I'm gonna tell you. All right, guys. Um, let's see. Right. So, Lawrence, why don't you date the Latina women then? If you so attracted to this culture and it sounds a lot of good things you're looking for, so why are you going to Ukraine instead of considering settling down with Latina ladies? Hmm. I believe, Brian, in what you're saying. It sounds like the real woman to me. Well, right, Lawrence, I understand, but it's just funny because I hear that a lot. People say, well, Ukrainians are just like my culture. So I always have a question. But it's okay. There is nothing wrong with experience. And um, sometimes it's good to open up and learn. And, you might discover that you feel more comfortable with somebody else. You just don't know. You don't know unless you open the world. And that's another reason why some people get extremely jealous when you start to date out of your country, out of your race, out of your culture, because once again, they don't dare to do it, and because um, they kind of slave to their beliefs. And the world does not have borders. We have to, just because the way things are, we have to put borders because it's life. But when world was originally created, it was meant to be explored. So it's okay to explore other countries and cultures. But once again, most people do not dare to do that, and that's why they're mad. Well, Ukrainian women can be also very emotional. Oh my god, I just did something to the chat. Okay, no, it's okay. Lawrence, that's a good question. I actually had some Latina friends because, back in my wild days, back, when I was studying in school, I was going out to different Latin clubs. But I'll be honest, Latina men, for example, are way too macho for me overall. They're fun. This is just, I don't want to offend to anybody. They're fun to go out. They're fun to laugh, to dance, to just have all kinds of fun. But personally, I've seen the stuff that people were up to. So it's all about, it's like a lot of expression of being almost hypersexual and hyperactive and jealous. And but then again, there are people that maybe have more calm nature, but they still warm and loving. So once again, you have to be careful. The reason I'm saying this to you, Lawrence, is you have to be careful, because when you're going to be in Ukraine, a lot of Ukrainian women think that Latina men are very wild and completely ruled by emotions. Maybe great lovers, maybe great dancers, but not a husband material. So you will have to just be you and let them learn that, everybody's different. Because everybody has their unique fingerprint, right? And you have a chance to also show that maybe not all men are, wild macho, that there are some men that actually want to have a family and settle down. So this responsibility goes right to you, Lawrence. About the girls, I've seen some very gorgeous, stunning, some, once again, some Latina women are absolutely breathtaking and stunning. But for me, the problems that I have is there should be, for Ukrainian culture, there should be more things to connect. As long as you can connect and you have some cultural, like, for example, Ukrainian women read a lot. Ukrainian women studying a lot. They are education driven. So as long as those things they have in common, they could be great friends. Because I agree, Latina women can be very good looking, very attractive, and I don't know, all of the above. It's true. Many of them are. But to connect with Ukrainian culture, you have to have more in common. If does that make sense? I know they're very passionate. I've heard about that. Yeah. Well, I want to tell you this, Lawrence. Ukrainian women can be pretty fiery as well and very passionate. Just they learn how to control it. That's just, I've never told you that. They just learn how to control, how to be civilized, but to be honest, um, it depends on the temper. Like there are women that are reserved and kind of calm, but some of them are pretty impulsive and emotional and um, well, you're gonna learn. I don't want to spoil it for you. Huh, that's interesting. John Yanuk is saying, Veronica, have you thought of doing a video of mini series of people moving to Ukraine and living there? I don't know if I could do that because I'm not moving to Ukraine, but I can consider talking about some challenges and some things to prepare with the best of my knowledge. So, guys, all right, it's been almost an hour. It's great to have this full interaction, and once again, without you even knowing I'll be here. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. All right, so I will look at the comments could be inspired some more videos on that. But I hope that I gave you a good idea, and if you can relate to what I'm saying, once again, my goal is not to be right, is not to hurt anybody, but I'm just tired of the people's BS and ignorance. You know, it's very hard to deal with people who do not deal with themselves. That's the truth. I agree. Um, Brian is saying, I love Ukraine, I love Kiev, but the economy and politics are too unsettled to be happy long term. Yeah, it's a whole different video on that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I need to get some good rest. And feel free, if you have some topics you really want me to discuss, feel free to share them in the comments below. And I'll see what I can do. Thank you once again. Thank you so much.